Hi friends, this is Miss Kat, one of the STEM educators at Boys and Girls Club, and today I want to talk about astronomy, and I want our lesson to be about tides and why they happen. So first off, let's start by asking ourselves, what is a tide? What does that look like? A tide is when the sea rises and falls throughout the day. For example, a low tide is when the water in the ocean is pushed back further and so there's more sand visible, while a high tide is when the water creeps up onto the shore and less sand is visible. So why does this happen? Why are there two different kinds of tides, and why does the water move back and forth on the sand? The answer is the moon and its gravity. Gravity is the invisible force that pulls two objects together. So we all know the Earth is big and large, and because of its size and mass, it exerts a very large gravitational force on us and even the moon. And because it exerts a great force on the moon, it makes it orbit around itself because of this large force. However, anything that exerts a force will also receive an equal and opposite force. So because the Earth exerts a certain gravitational force on the moon also counteracts that by exerting a gravitational force on the Earth, which is why the water is pulled towards the moon and creates the high and low tides. So now that we know what a tide is and how it is created, how does it work throughout the day? So this diagram shows what the tides look like throughout the day. As the Earth rotates, your region of the Earth will pass through both of these bulges each day. When you're in one of the bulges, you're experiencing a high tide, like I said before. When you're not in one of the bulges, you're experiencing a low tide. So on the diagram where we see the high tides or the two bulges, this is when the sea is closest to the moon, so the gravitational force will seem stronger. So the next question you might have is, but if there's only one moon, then why are there two bulges on the Earth? Well, this phenomenon occurs because the tidal force that has been occurring is actually also a differential force, meaning that it comes from the difference in gravity over the Earth's surface. Here's how it works. On the side of the Earth that is directly facing the moon's gravitational pull is the strongest, and the water on that side is pulled strongly in the direction of the moon. On the opposite side of the Earth, furthest away from the moon's gravitational pull is at its weakness, and at the center of the Earth is approximately the average of the moon's gravitational force. So the tidal force is that maximum moon's gravitational pull in a specific location on Earth, or where there is a high tide, minus the moon's average gravitational pull on the Earth as a whole. So like I said before, the areas that are closer to the moon will look like they have a stronger gravitational force being enacted on them because they do. The result of this difference in the tidal force is the stretching and squashing of the Earth, which is why we have the two tidal bulges. So on most coasts, in a single 24-hour period, you will experience two low tides and then two high tides, just depending where you are in accordance to the moon. So that's all I have to say about tides and tidal force. I hope you learned something new about why our water moves, and I hope you join me again next time for another STEM lesson.